Have you ever stared at a name on your phone and felt your entire world tilt on its axis? The screen of my iPhone glowed at 2:17 a.m., casting a pale, sickly light across the sheets where my wife Sarah slept peacefully. It wasn't her phone. It was mine. And the message I'd just sent from a burner number, a simple, anonymous, "I know," had been answered almost instantly. The reply wasn't from the number I'd texted. It was a new message. It's from a contact saved in her phone under the name Work Husband. The text was chillingly simple. "We need to be more careful. Delete everything." Now, my thumb hovered over her contact photo. A smiling picture from our last anniversary dinner in downtown Chicago. The woman in that photo was a stranger. The woman sleeping beside me was a viper. And in that cold, silent moment, I knew I wasn't just going to leave her. I was going to burn her world to the ground. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For months, something had been off. It started subtly. It's late nights at the office she never used to have. Her phone suddenly guarded like a state secret. We'd be watching a movie in our Lincoln Park apartment, and a text would light up her screen. She'd angle it away, a flicker of a smile on her lips, and murmur, "Just my boss, Mark." So demanding, Mark. The Work Husband. The name itself was a joke between them. She'd set a silly nickname for the guy she spent more time with than me. I'd laughed it off, because what else could I do? To doubt her felt like a betrayal of the 10 years we'd built. But the doubts were like termites, chewing away at the foundations of my trust. There were receipts from expensive dinners I wasn't at, tucked away in the pocket of her winter coat. Credit card statements showing lunches at the Gauge, a place we only went for special occasions. On days she was supposedly swamped with paperwork, she became a ghost in our home, emotionally distant, her touch cold and obligatory. When I tried to talk to her, to bridge the growing chasm between us, she'd turn it on me. "You're being so needy lately, Alex," she'd say, her voice laced with an unfamiliar cruelty. "Can't you see I'm under a lot of pressure? Or is everything always about you?" The villains always feel untouchable in the beginning. They move through the world wrapped in a cloak of arrogance, convinced of their own cleverness. That was Sarah. She thought I was a fool. She thought I was weak. The night it all shattered, I found a hotel keycard in her gym bag. The logo was for the Thompson Chicago, a sleek, expensive spot on Rush Street. I felt the air leave my lungs, a physical punch to the gut. I sat on the floor of our walk-in closet, the scent of her perfume hanging in the air, and I broke. The tears were hot, silent, a testament to a decade of love turning to ash in my mouth. But as the sun rose, something inside me shifted. The grief hardened into something cold, sharp, and focused. It was time to stop being the victim. It was time to start gathering proof. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop, who operated out of a small office in the Loop. He was expensive, but worth every penny. Within a week, I had a file thick with photographs, Sarah and Mark, leaving the Thompson, his arm draped possessively around her waist. Sarah and Mark, kissing in a secluded corner of a parking garage near his office. Sarah and Mark, laughing over cocktails at a rooftop bar, looking for all the world like a happy couple. While the pie gathered the visual evidence, I set my own traps. I opened a new secret bank account and began methodically transferring my savings. I contacted a shark of a divorce lawyer, a woman known for leaving her opponents with nothing but the clothes on their backs. We met in a discreet coffee shop in the West Loop, and I laid out the entire sordid affair. She listened, her expression unreadable, then gave me a grim smile. "We're not just going to divorce her, Mr. Hayes," she said, her voice like ice. "We're going to dismantle her." The final piece of the plan was the most brutal. Sarah's family was old money from the North Shore, obsessed with appearances and their pristine social standing. Her father, a titan of finance, was the keynote speaker at an upcoming charity gala, an event Sarah had been planning for months. It was her moment to shine, to prove her worth to her demanding family. It was the perfect stage for her downfall. The night of the gala, she was radiant in a backless gown, dripping with family jewels. She floated through the ballroom of the Drake Hotel, queen in her court, completely unaware of the guillotine hanging over her head. As her father took the stage to a round of thunderous applause, my lawyer gave me a nod. That was the signal. On a massive screen behind the stage, a slideshow was supposed to be playing, showcasing the charity's work. Instead, The first photograph from the PI's file flashed into view: Sarah and Mark, locked in a passionate embrace outside the Thompson. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Sarah's face went white. Her father stopped mid-sentence, his eyes wide with horror. The next photo appeared, the kiss in the parking garage. Then another and another. A curated collection of her betrayal, playing out in high definition for her family, her friends, and the city's elite to see. The room was dead silent, the only sound the soft click of the slideshow advancing. I watched her, my heart a cold, hard stone in my chest. I saw the moment her arrogance finally cracked, replaced by pure, unadulterated panic. She looked at me across the ballroom, her eyes pleading. I just stared back, my face a mask of indifference, and gave her a slow, deliberate nod. Her world didn't just crumble, it was obliterated. Her father, a man who valued reputation above all else, publicly disowned her. Her friends, the same people who had admired her an hour before, now looked at her with contempt. The divorce was a formality. My lawyer used the infidelity clause in our prenup, backed by the mountain of evidence, to leave her with nothing. No apartment, no money, no social standing. The last I heard, she was working a retail job in a suburb I'd never heard of, living in a small rented room. The smug affair partner, Mark, was fired from his job for conduct unbecoming of a senior partner, and his own wife left him, taking their children with her.